All right, are we ready? Did you play around with the formatting? Yes? Okay, another aspect of Google Sheets, if you come over here where it says pi, you can see how the numbers are in different formats. So we have currency, no decimal, scientific notation. If you click on the first number right here where it says general, all right, if you come right over here, you can decrease the number of decimal points you have. You can increase, all right. You can change it into a percent. You can change it into currency with just the click of a button. So pretty powerful tool to be able to do that. All right. Now, if you go down and click on the next tab, which is the formula tab, now we're going to start to talk about how we're going to do calculations. Now that we have a little bit of the basic terminology out of the way. So we have a little data set right here, plant number and height. We want to know what the average is, the average height of the plants, all of them together. So how did we calculate in the first quarter the average height? How would we have done that? Can anyone tell me? Go ahead.
You add all them together and then divide by how many numbers you added.
Right. You'd add them all up, right? Use a calculator and type them all in. So what they have done here is they've used their formula bar. So see right at the top, if you click right here on this cell, all right, even though the cell says 69.6, you click on it and you can see they put a formula up here. And that formula is an equal sign and all these cells. So equals B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5 all the way down. All right. And it adds them all up to 69.6. Now, they put the count right here, which is just the number of plants. And even though this says 8.7, this is showing the result. If you click on it, you'll see the formula. And they basically said, take the information from cell B12, right here, the 69.6, divide it by the information in cell B13, which is 8, and it will give us 8.7. All right, so now we have a much more efficient way. And I know you're probably looking at this, well, it's only 8 numbers. I can do it faster just adding it up. But scientists, when they get a really good data set, they might have like 100, 200, 300, 400 numbers in a data set. You don't want to be sitting there with a calculator trying to calculate the average of a 250 data point set, right? So this is where this becomes really powerful. You can do addition, subtraction, division, square roots, exponents. Pretty much any mathematical formula, you can figure out a way to put it in the function bar. So, right down here with this red box, there's a typo. It says to multiply it, but basically calculate the average. So click on this yellow square, come up here to your function bar, and you're going to hit equals. You're always going to start with the equal sign, because basically you're saying this cell equals this function or this formula. And now add up all those, the column of data, and see if you can get the sum. All right. What? Okay, so if you look above, you'll see there's the plant height versus the plant number. So add up the plant height.
No, sorry, the bathroom was closed. I had to go find another one.
Okay. All right, pull it back together. Pull it back together. Okay. So, who figured out a formula for in there to figure out the sum? Who can give that to me? Colin? Okay, well, what did you put in the yellow box to add up and make a sum? Okay, and what did you get for a result?
69.6.
And was that the correct result? Is that what everybody else did? For the most part? Okay, in walking around, I did see some of you. So, some of you put B2 plus B3, okay, equals, and that worked. Some of you also went as far as to do 10.1 plus 9.2 plus 7.3, all right? And if you type the right numbers, then that also would have given you the right answer. The problem is some of these numbers and data sets can get very long and huge. So if you're hand typing every single one of those numbers, it's going to become very arduous and a high risk of error, right? So by being able to say B2, B3, B4, and I'm going to show you how to make it even easier than this, it eliminates human error within your data set. Are we good? All right. So now we're going to move on to functions. So what is a function? Anybody want to define what a function might be? A function is basically just another way of saying like an equation, all right? You're adding something up. You're adding a row of data. You're adding up a column of data. You're taking an average. And what Google Sheets and Excel does this as well, both do it, is it gives you an alternative way instead of sitting there and typing B1, B2, B3, B4, right? Because that's a little tedious. And again, some data sets might be 100 data points long. That would get a little tiring pretty quick. So, if you look right here, this is how we did the original sum, right? So we had the sum. This is from the last page. So you have B2 plus B3 plus B4, right? That's how we did it. Now, if you want to use a function, you can say, I want to take, so you do your equal sign. You always start with the equal sign. If there's no equal sign, it's not going to work. And then you type in sum, because we're adding everything up. And now you put parentheses, so open parentheses, B2, comma, B3, comma, B4. And you'll see you get the same answer. You get your 69.6 that you got up here for 69.6. Does that make sense? It's a different way of writing something that is the same. So up here on the board, so another way of looking at this is B1 plus B2 plus B3, okay, and it goes on, right? If you have equals, is going to equal the same thing if you were to say equals sum, parentheses, B1, comma, B2, comma, B3, comma, parentheses. These are going to give you the same answer from 1 to here. Questions? So, what you need to do